don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, what a meeting, what a day it is. Man, what a day. It has been a day. It's like been a day and a half. Meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, man, and I'm telling you. And then the Muncie City Council meeting, it was like 6 meetings long. I've literally been to meetings before that started at 7 o'clock p.m. and have ran until 2 o'clock in the morning. And this meeting was still longer than those meetings. It's just something with this council, man. They are just not very well put together. It's something to do. I just can't. These council people, man, they just really get me going because they are. It's just very sloppily done. It's like, it's very apparent that barely any of them know what the hell they're doing. The only one of them that I hate saying it, but the only one of them that seems as though they know what they're doing is, of course, Nora Powell. And of course, she's got to act like she's not leading the show. Of course, she is. And she doesn't want people to know that she's leading the show because she doesn't want to be blamed for the chaos that ensues. But if she doesn't step up and like direct a little bit, then it just goes to complete shit. And it's nonsensical shit. I'm telling you, it's just very, 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 very hard to deal with, man. Yes, they all want to be heard. And listen, it's like, I get it. You've got a First Amendment right. I want everybody to be heard. I want that council to sit there. I want them to shut up. I don't know how many times more I can hear Mason and Gullion and all of them talking about how it, these are long meetings. I also, listen, I sent a text to Rose Selvey and said, hey, tell your fellow council people to shut their suck. When people are coming up to the podium and talking, and after someone talks at the podium, you hear all of them going, no. You hear someone say kickbacks. And look, obviously that girl, Holly Yipe, she didn't mean like a kickback in the sense that someone's giving them like money in a clandestine spot. She just means money. They're getting paid extra money on top of money. And she says kickback, and everybody goes, no. You hear Mason go, oh, no, I can't believe it. And William McIntosh is going, oh. And Brandon Garrett's going, stop. Like, turn your mics off until it's time for you people to talk, because you're looking like idiots. God, I'm in a bad mood. And I'm telling you, it's the elected officials that have put me in a bad mood all day long, starting with Corey Criswell and J.D. Prescott and a bunch of 15, 16 stupid-ass Republicans voting on Senate Bill 1, voting in favor of this monstrosity that they did, that with this Amendment 45, that dropped at 3 o'clock on Friday, but none of them got copies of it until 5:30. A couple of them said they got copies of it on Saturday. One of them said they got a copy of it on Sunday. And you're voting on bills, and you voted on the bill without the fiscal note. You don't even know how it's going to affect us or you or anybody, and you're voting on the damn thing. Those people are all idiots. And then I've not even looked at the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. I got to look at that. I've not even looked at that. There was a Delaware County Commissioners meeting. I got to look at it. So then we go into the Muncie City Council meeting, and they talk for 2.5 hours on one ordinance. And you got Jason Chafin getting up going, yeah, money, but money, first responders, money. We need money, but drugs, money. Shut up, dude. Man, you've not said anything different since you could bend down to tie your shoes. I'm telling you, okay, so stop. I got to get in a better mood. I got to say, first and foremost, happy birthday to my grandmother. She is not watching because they went off to bed because these meetings lasted so bloody long. But I got to say, big happy birthday to the grandmother. Happy birthday, Grandma. This is back when she didn't get what she wanted, so she walked across the table to get it when she was a little kid. Here she is a little bit on in life. I think this is right around the time that her and my grandfather got married. Very pretty woman. Always been very elegant, very kind of like Cupid doll-esque, very, very pretty. And then here she is. And this is I come from it. I come from it naturally. Look here. See the ring? See the ring? You want to know why? Oh God, I'm going to get really in trouble for this. But here we go. Thank God she's in bed. And when I go over to watch this and she wants to see this tomorrow, I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't do it live. No, I'll show it to him. So happy birthday to my grandmother. 80-some years young. Don't exactly know how old, but she about 25 years ago, she went to the doctor, and the doctor told her that she was internally about 16 years younger than what she was. Like her actual age, her medical age was younger than what her actual age was. So that's something that she's always done. Sherry needs to shut up when people are talking. Let them finish their thought. That's good. Thank you, Alva, for that. I need to watch that meeting. I'll probably watch that as I'm drifting off into bed tonight. So yeah, if you could all just say a very merry happy birthday to my grandmother, I would greatly appreciate it. She'll like it in the morning. They went off into bed, but thank you. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, all right, so I don't even know how Stumblefoot. She'll like it. Hey, she knows where you live. Anyways, so how many of you just watched the Muncie City Council meeting? That meeting was absolutely, put a 1 in the comments. Just put a 1 if you watched the meeting. Just put a 1 if you watched the meeting. Anybody in here that watched the meeting, put a 1. The meeting was horribly awful. God awful. It was 0.5. Good answer, Alva. Or GW. David Hall watched it. Chris Bunner watched it. Karen watched it. Kid Rock watched it. Jesus. Audie watched it. Audie got there late. Audie had to travel. Thought Audie was going to get in a fight with somebody because they didn't like that he was going up on the podium and talking. It's what it is. Jackie watched it. We all watched it. I think we're all going to have to go to counseling because of that. So I'm like, the meeting was so long and so horrible. That like I don't honestly. Darla Barber made it to the chat. Haven't seen her here in a while. I watched Audie tell David Hall ours was over in 45 minutes. Yeah, somebody called me in the middle of ours and told me they want to talk to me about some stuff that happened in yours. So I'm going to get the rundown. I don't know if you'll be available tomorrow. Maybe I could give you a call and get your opinion on what happened in your meeting. I'd like to maybe talk with you and see if I can find out what your thought was. I got to talk to somebody else. I always like to talk to a couple different people to get a rundown. Tweety Bird, you were in a much better place. Very, very much better place. So the bottom line here is, number one, where is Dan Ridenour? Where is Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour? Why was his ass not in that meeting? Why was he not there arguing for his side? So the number one thing that we need to talk about, the number one thing that we need to focus on is the fact that the city of Muncie this timing issues. Hey. Now, is he ever there? No, never. Yeah, Audie did a great job. Loved how he told the counselors to keep off their cell phones during the council meetings. So yes, I like that. I wish he would have said this. I'm always at home trying to control Audie with my mind. So that's what it's at. That's what it's like. When Audie is up to when Audie is up at bat at the podium, he does a great job. But there are a few times where I'm trying to control him with my mind, and I'm like, "Oh, Audie, say this. Go this way. Go that way. Go this way. Go this way. Say this." So, yes, in the grand scheme of things, stay off your phones. Don't be on your phones, dirty texting whoever's out in the audience that, your boyfriend of the week is or whatever the deal is. Stay off your phones. I don't even know who was on the phone tonight. Every now and then. Dan may have been at the YM running or swimming. Jackie. It's within walking distance of his work or home. Every now and then they might have to get on their phone to look up information for what they're specifically talking about. And if that's the case, I don't have a problem with it. But the bigger overarching conversation there is, quit acting so damn rude to the people in the audience. So how many people listened to that council meeting? How many people listen to that council meeting? And when people in the audience would say something, and when people at the podium would say something, you could hear the people up at the dais making noises, like groaning or whatever. How many people could do that? All right. I heard Mason and I heard McIntosh. I'm pretty sure I heard Garrett. I'm pretty sure I heard I'm pretty sure I heard Basham, and I'm pretty sure I heard Sarah Gullion. And they just always make these like like the death rattle. One of them's making like the death rattle, and one of them's like making this like guttural, like, you know, and Sarah Gullion does these shitty eye rolls. It's like we're gonna have to start Pink Floyding these people and putting them behind the wall. You know, like, I don't want to see you and I don't want to hear you while these meetings are going on, because you guys can't control yourself. For all of the people that used to talk about how quote unquote unprofessional Jeff Robinson was because they would make jokes from time to time, boy, howdy, how do I long for the days of the meetings that Jeff used to run. I would take those jokes any day. Audie told them all to turn their resignation in. I loved it. I don't even think they really clicked what you said. I wish you would have gave it to him a little bit more. David Hall's councilman says, I got 5 minutes. Tell me everything you know. Me too, Tweety Bird. That's what I'm saying. All these people are ridiculous. And listen to me. So let's be clear. Let me tell you where I am on this. Okay. The opioid settlement money needed to not be voted, passed through to give to the police. It should not have went to the police. And I'm telling you, the council was put in an awkward situation. Jerry Dishman, Brandon Garrett, where are you folks at? And while we're talking about opioid settlement money, let's talk about this. When I went to the council meeting last month, I asked a question and I said, I'll be back in the next month or two and get an answer from you. And Brandon Garrett promised me that I would hear from him before the next meeting and he would have information to me. Guess whose phone call I'm still waiting on? Still waiting to hear from Mr. Garrett. And then Garrett and Dishman voted yes. $500,000. $500,000 is what we were talking about. $500,000. They paid $650,000 for con cannons. I'm okay with them spending $650,000 for con cannons. I'm okay with that. Spend it away. Keep on spending. I'm fine with that. That's what edit money's for. But let me tell you something, Mr. Weasley Wagley, when he ignorantly makes the comment that edit money is not for salary money for police and fire. Bullshit. Police and fire specifically is something that businesses look at when deciding about coming to town. So you could have taken some of your edit money and paid them. You could also take some of your edit money and square up AFSCME. Make it 5% around the horn. That would have done a lot towards funding the crisis center and helping people. Absolutely. Let me tell you, $500,000. $500,000 going towards the crisis center would have done a lot. $500,000 breaking that up over 110 police officers. What is that? Was Holly Yipe correct in her amount? And listen, I did not want this money to go the way that it did. But they took the break before they voted. Remember, they took their 5-minute, actually turned into 10-minute pee break. Okay, remember that? Well, let me tell you something. Nora, when she walked back up and sat there on that dais, when they came back into session, she knew how that vote was going to fall. And you want me to tell you why I know she knew? How I know that she knew? How I knew she know? We know that she knew that I know. Because she called them back up and she got into high dramatics, man. Shame! Shame! That is classic Nora. She was too much with that. I could not believe it. I was like, oh no, this is too much. This is not good. I could not believe that was happening. That was shocking to me. I mean, truthfully, it was some of Nora's very, very best performance. I mean, it was definitely ludicrous. And here's the thing. It just doesn't sit well. It doesn't play well. I thought it was kind of gross. I mean, I hope that others thought that it was too. And I'm going to play just this section for you. So we can all be on the same page with this, because this was intense. If you didn't watch this is a meeting. If you missed it, you're going to want to go back and watch. I think it's clear that Dan doesn't give a shit about AFSCME. I think it's pretty clear that none of those elected officials truly do. They act like they do. And they kept saying, like, we were not made aware of this. We were not made aware of the contract that you put in front of us. And that's true. The city, Dan Ridenour, that's the reason he wasn't there tonight. Dan knew it was going to be a shit show, a bloodbath. So he sent his Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Mr. Usual and Weaselly to do their little games. And he sent them up to the podium, and he was, taking laps at the Y, watching it on his underwater scuba watch. And I'm telling you, it's just really frustrating. Really frustrating. Okay. So I want you to watch this for a second here. Okay. I want you to listen to what she's got to say.
That it would send us into economic crisis. Hold on a second, please. So you said earlier, if we don't adopt this, it will throw us into economic crisis. What were the plans for next year?
We'll look at the budget next year. We have to see what the taxes are going to be next year.
Okay, so there is no plan for next year.
Generally, we have a 3.5% increase in revenue,
Okay.
which amounts to about between $1.2 and $1.5 million.
So just again, after listening to an hour and a half of people come up and explain why we need these spent, and both sides are very, very good causes. And I agree with Mr. Jeremy Reese, who said this is a horrible situation. You've negotiated a contract and allowed us to vote on it last week without telling us that it was contingent on those opioid funds being appropriated,
The opioid
Yeah.
funds have been appropriated
without using without this additional appropriation being adopted.
with revenue that had been with appropriations that the council approved.
Again, you negotiated a contract.
Listen, Weasel, you can worm it anyway, and she's fouling up on a little bit of what she's saying here, but we all understand what she's saying, and she's right. And I can't understand how you're like, they don't really believe what they're saying. They're just saying shit, hoping that the citizens don't. Nora is right. Don't make me say that. Nora is right. Nora is right. Listen.
Contract and allowed us to vote on it last month
I know.
without telling us that without adopting 725, that it would send us into economic crisis. Hold on a second, please. And so both sides are
Thank you,
very
Alan.
deserving. The police should not have to get up here and argue why they deserve 5% because you do. And the community should not have to plead their case for prevention services. I've had numerous emails from people within my district and quite frankly from people within your district, Mr. Garrett, on why we should use this for prevention. And so you've placed the council in a horrible position where we have to choose between two very good causes. And so I say shame on you, the administration, for putting the council in this position where we have to choose between two.
I mean, listen, they're clapping, so she's going up and she's doing that thing that she does that's dramatic. Shame on you.
Very, very worthy causes.
Ugh. Shame.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Shame.
Just to clarify.
Hardcore
six-
acting. Hardcore acting. And you know what? I don't know if Dan is running for a second time. I don't know if he's running for a second time. But she will walk all over them with shit just like this. And I've said, I'm going to be honest with you. I've said mayors can run for as long as they want. There is no term limits. Mayor Ridenour, I have said that, like, man, I'm in an awkward position. Like, I would have to vote for him again if it's between him and Nora. But if he continues to do this, I might have to change my mind. Yeah, no, that's right. Audie did say it. Audie said it. There's several people's been saying this. Audie said this on the record last month, and everybody, like, the council did to him what they were doing to everybody else, where they like make those mumbling things in the background. Quit doing that, council. Quit doing that. If you do that, quit doing it. But Audie brought this up and was told this is the way it has to be done. And the mayor's saying right now, we won't use opioid money next year. Well, see you, bro. Have a good night, Alva. So it's really crazy. It's really crazy. And listen, look at the time on this. Look at the time on this. The meeting was 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 44 seconds. Okay. Look at this. 2 hours, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. They're still talking, and this is the first ordinance. This was ordinance 7-25. Let's see what happens here.
Five, four.
It adopted. It passed.
Okay, so it's over here. It's over here. 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 51 seconds. It took them that long to discuss the first ordinance. And they had people after people after people after people. Listen to Jason Chafin. Listen to him get up here and weave his sad story of
Meaning
what
total abstinence is only the first addicted community want opportunity.
Just how much we serve on the front lines of this opioid battle. You know, no one serves on the front lines like we do. Hundreds of calls, well over 300 calls of overdoses that we serve on the front lines for. These calls come in so often that we are very proficient on these calls. I mean, most of the times people aren't breathing and won't begin breathing until we get there. And most times by the time we're done with that call, they're walking and talking. So we interact on the end result of the opioid epidemic that goes through Muncie more than anyone, so as we were discussing in our contract negotiations, and these funds played a key role in successfully ending our negotiations, and that what better way to appropriate some of these funds, not all, just some, was back to the people that are on the front lines doing this every day.
Money.
And we don't just give out an Narcan and leave. I mean, we're taking people to.
I'm convinced that he does not care. It is not when I was in public safety, you know what it was about to me? It was about doing my job, and it was about the calling. It's who I am today. It's been many years since I've put on a badge and a gun. And I can get mouthy and lippy when I'm doing political stuff with the police, but I'd be right there. If some shit hit the fan, I'd be right there, man. I would be right there to help somebody, to do what I can. That's why I get in shit that I get into today. I still actively will, help just do shit. It's who I am. But when I hear people like this, and it's like these people are, it's like an addiction. Money, 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 money. That's right. And the thing is, it's like, no, we're not going to come for the opioid money until there is no money to make this up. And we got to do it. Yes.
He acts like helping people is not his fucking job.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah. Yes.
We go and we help people. Oh my God, what a novel idea.
Yeah, right.
You definitely deserve more money for doing your fucking job.
Yeah, you're a fireman? Okay. Mr. Krabs. Yes.
Hospital, we're referring services, we're educating. We're doing it all right there on the front lines, and so like I said, that's why I found it kind of disheartening that it was even being discussed that this wasn't an appropriate, use of the funds. And I have nothing against an advisory committee. I think that's a good idea going forward. This is obviously a 20-year settlement. This is a long-term, a long-term funding mechanism that we'll be able to use as a community. That's awesome. And we'll be able to use it for all the things, not just, us in the final.
For all the things. We want to get our thinged first. We can use it for all the things as long as our thing gets thinged first.
And, taking these calls on the daily, but all the resources that these funds can help, so.
Taking them on the
You guys all know what these funds are for. I don't have to tell you. So I want to make a point that I think will make sense to the people who are fiscally concerned about things. By giving this raise and using these funds for the police and fire, and it doesn't matter if they're going to the sanitary department, you're creating a hole next year, $500,000, a hole in the budget that you're going to have to fill with money from somewhere. Where's that going to come from? Well, I know of an $18 an 18-year settlement that you can pull money out of. And I don't know who's going to be on this advisory committee if it passes. So it's going to stop council or a future council from looting that fund to pay holes you're creating today. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
You're right,
Funds
Audie.
were appropriated. We thought this was a reasonable expenditure of them since these are the two departments that were most affected by the opioid epidemic.
Now listen to this.
We negotiated with money that the council appropriated for this year.
For 1 year for this.
25 and 725, and neither of them says it's contingent on receiving, or on this appropriation being adopted.
We're looking at these and we're looking at these contracts, and neither of the contracts that we voted on, because you told us to, that you said, you know, was negotiated in good faith. None of them had anything to do with us having to give the opioid money to the police or fire, or else the contract would be busted, which is what they were trying to threaten them with tonight. Listen to this.
Run that again.
So gross.
The contracts for 725, which is with the FOP, and 825, which was with 1348, and neither of them points out that it's contingent on that ordinance 725 being adopted.
Well, I just know that
Omitted by accident, or was that, I mean, that's some information that council should have been made aware of.
well, it's, you know, basically what we're saying on this is we're using this money from the opioid on the unrestricted for 1 year for this to move forward. And next year we will look at the funding moving forward.
Mr. President, may I comment? Please do.
What?
Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
I just want to follow up on Councilwoman Powell's comment. Not only were they not, you know, did not say it was contingent upon those, we weren't involved in the negotiations, so we hadn't any idea that this was coming from those funds, you know, because we weren't involved in any kind of negotiations. We weren't in those meetings.
Yeah. Dale Basham.
I believe Dale Basham attended the.
I attended as the representative from.
I attended as the representative of the meetings, but I didn't tell anyone on the council. Who gives a shit? If he attended, if he sat on the table, on the mayor's lap, on the mayor's head, wherever he sat, it don't matter. If he didn't bring that information back to the council, if he didn't give that information to the, you know, I think I heard him give an update one time, and he said the negotiations are coming along swimmingly, and I think that was the most he said ever about it. I don't think that he said anything else about it. Not a big fan of Sarah, but she's right.
Both sides. I did not participate in a way that was intrusive. I was there to listen and to
report.
Yes.
But the contracts weren't contingent on this particular funds, but if we don't have the funds, we can't pay for the contract.
Mr.
Sure.
Wait, say that again. The contract is not contingent upon these funds, but if we don't have these funds, we can't pay for the contracts.
They just admitted they made a contract with people that they couldn't pay.
Right. Contingent on something that they didn't tell the council that it was contingent upon.
Well, if they,
they probably didn't say those words.
If they can't pay it this year, what makes them think they're going to be able to pay it next year?
Yes. $500,000
hole.
Karen, 0 + 0 equals. All right. Listen to this. Let's continue on.
Mason. So you negotiated with money that you did not have.
We negotiated with money that was, we negotiated with money that the council appropriated for this year's budget. You appropriated the opioid money.
What line item was that?
Yeah.
What, please,
Oh, line.
what line item was the opioid appropriated?
141-19-439-006. Opioid or 140-19-439-006 and opioid distribution unrestricted. The funds were appropriated. We
So the
thought
funds-
we thought this was a reasonable expenditure of them since these are the two departments that were most affected by the opioid epidemic.
So just for clarification, the money was appropriated into the budget, but it was not designated as appropriated into the police or fire budgets, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
I guess this is appropriate time with you guys here to talk about the fact that we did find more money within edit just a couple weeks ago, $650,000 that was, appeared from
Perfect.
That's
to buy a
economic,
piece of
that's
property.
economic development. I don't think that applies to this as
I
the
think it does.
opioid distribution, I believe, does.
Mr. President?
Edit money definitely applies. As we know, they pay salaries for people in edit all the time. The former mayor, Dennis Tyler, paid for a fire EMS chief out of edit. Dan continued that for a while. He's currently paying Matt Wegley out of edit, and he's paying the communications director out of edit. So yeah, they can definitely pay people out of edit. You're right, Stumblefoot. You're absolutely right. And that is a question the council should have asked before they voted on it. Absolutely. And Audie brought this to their attention several times last meeting. I'm telling you, if they don't give Audie a key to the city and then me after that at some point, they're doing a horrible disservice, because Audie told them all this last meeting.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Wagner, is edit dollars being used for any other salary?
Yeah. They are being used for the salaries that you folks cut.
In order to release funds for the negotiations? So
They were,
edit dollars
no,
can be
it
used
was,
for
it was
salary.
not, it was not in order to do that. You folks,
He can't explain why the council cut the funds. He doesn't know what the council's thought process was in cutting those funds. She says, we cut those funds in order to have money for you guys to negotiate with. And he's like, no, you didn't. Matt Wegley, the problem with Matt is he is always the smartest man in any room that he's in. And honestly, he's like the complete opposite. So who are these guys? The guy with the binder that says Muncie, that's the city controller. And the guy at the mic is the deputy controller.
cut it. The mayor wanted to fund 2 positions out of the edit funds. So that made the funds available since you folks cut it, which is fine. But we think that the opioid distribution is a,
Yeah, right. Why is that happening? Yeah, it's why is that happening, Kate? That's a good question. Why is the controller not making these statements? And you're right, Audie.
reasonable to fund the 2 departments of this city government who were most affected by the opioid epidemic.
But just for clarification, you said that edit dollars cannot be used for salaries because it's economic
I didn't-
development.
no,
But I
I
was
didn't-
wanted to point
I
out that
didn't say
edit
that.
dollars are being used for salaries.
She's wrong. He didn't say that. He implied it. So see, I hate Because what they're going to do is they're going to go back and they're going to be like, Nora is lying. She's wrong. I never said that. Yeah, right. He's right. He never said it. He implied it. And so they need to be more careful in their wording here. Like they need to say, like, I would have been like, you just imply that. And then he has no room to go. But now he has a little bit of an out. Like Audie says, the council never pins them down.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joseph Souza. I'm a senior political science major at Ball State University.
Anybody else? Have anything from the
Thank you
council?
for
People. You just gave them a 10% raise and y'all still losing people.
Gullion has come up. So
are responding to. And it's starting to weigh down on them when other. All of that is like substance use disorder.
First
was bringing over.
They don't want a gas station to go in there.
Mr. President.
Yes.
And to go along with that, again, I go back to the negotiation. The fact that we were not in the negotiation or it was not shared with council.
Representative
That this was,
council was in
it was not shared with council. It was not shared with council that was.
The whole point of voting in a bunch of Dems was to put the brakes on the mayor and his stupid, but they appear to be useless. Yeah. So here's what they do after 2 hours of this. 2 hours of this nonsense. They say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to table this. We're going to table it. We're going to make the opioid committee, and then we'll vote on this. We're going to have the mayor try to find another way to come up with this money. Perfect. They're not killing it. It's still on the table, but they're tabling it. Then it comes to the roll call. Jeff Green votes no. He doesn't want it tabled. Nora Powell votes yes. She wants it tabled. Brandon Garrett votes no. He doesn't want it tabled. He should have been a yes vote. That's stupid. Sarah Gullion voted yes. She wanted it tabled. Jerry Dishman voted no. He didn't want it tabled. Jerry Dishman screwed up. Dishman and Garrett screwed up. They should have voted to table it. They didn't. Mason voted to table it. Basham voted no. Roselvi voted no. And William McIntosh voted yes. Who voted yes? Who voted yes? Audie. Who voted yes? I'm pretty sure that's not true. Let's go back and listen. Who was the other yes vote? Now you've got me all kinds of confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
To adopt
Second.
ordinance 825.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded.
Roll call.
He's down the
Yes.
No.
So in this position,
Mr. President.
Yes.
And to go along with that, again, I go back to the negotiation. The fact that we were not in the negotiation or it was not shared with council.
Representative
That this was,
council was in
it was not shared with council. It was not shared with council that was part of the negotiation either. And we did ask for someone to be in there who would that money to make
No.
that
All right,
money
here
to
we
make up the opioid fund.
Second.
I seconded that already, but I'll let you second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that ordinance 725 be tabled. Roll call.
Roll call.
You stay on the.
Yes.
Selby,
No.
Gullion,
Yes.
Garrett,
No.
Garrett, no.
Yes.
Basham,
No.
No.
Green,
No.
Green, no.
No.
President Mason.
Yes.
Okay. So 6 no's, 3 yeses. And so the no's to table it was Green, Garrett, Dishman, Basham, Selvey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And who else? Who was the 6th vote to table?
No.
Mr. President.
Yes.
And to go along with that, again, I go back to the negotiation. The fact that
Nora, Mason, Sarah voted to table. Okay.
we were not in the negotiation, or it was not shared with council.
Representative
That this was,
council was in
it was not shared with council. It was not shared with council that was part of the negotiation either. And we did ask for someone to be in there who would actually share it with council, and it didn't happen either.
I'm only going to count the no's.
Any further questions?
No further questions for me.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion that we table this.
Second.
And
Second.
that then the administration can then figure out where else that they can get that money to make up the opioid fund.
Second.
I seconded that already, but I'll let you second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded that ordinance 725 be tabled. Roll call.
Roll call.
You
Powell,
stay on the.
Yes.
Selby,
No.
No.
Gullion,
Yes.
Garrett,
No.
Garrett,
Yes.
Basham,
No.
Basham,
Green,
No.
Green,
No.
President
Dishman.
Mason.
Yes.
So it was 5-4. So it was 5-4. It was 5-4. Okay. Sarah, Green, Basham, Garrett, Dishman. Okay. Why doesn't Basham get drilled for not sharing with the council? That's a really good answer, and I can only think of a couple of reasons. He needs to be asked this. The other counselors need to ask this. The other counselors need to remove him. I would say the council president needs to remove him from that position and needs to put someone else in that position. I've always said that the two people, yes, you are right. Selvey, I meant Selvey. Audie, you're right. Selvey, I just put an S. Selvey voted no. Yeah, Sarah voted to table. You're correct. Sorry, that was my bad. But yeah, he needs to be bashed. He needs to be bashed for this. It was Selvey, Garrett, Basham, Green, Dishman for no. And then the vote to table fell, I think, the same way, did it not? So let's listen to the vote, the vote to pass.
Let's call question and let's just do it. Yeah. Question.
Question.
Question's been called.
Question's been called.
Motion, which was to adopt.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
It's a
Oh, shit,
it's been
I
seconded.
apologize.
Okay, it's already been made in second. Roll call.
Selby?
Yes.
Garrett?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Powell?
With my apologies to the police department, no.
McIntosh?
Same here with apologies. No.
Basham?
Yes.
Gullion?
No.
Dishman?
Yes.
President Mason?
No.
5 yeses, 4 no.
Yeah. Selby, yeah. So it was the same thing, same vote. And so I think somebody needs to ask. I mean, look, I understand why Dishman did it, because Dishman's a strong person in there for the union and getting our guys paid. But it's got to make damn sense, Jerry. And if you're too old and you don't understand what's going on, it's time for you to step down, brother. I love you. I think you're a wonderful person, but you're insane, man. If you can't follow along with what's going on and you can't stick it to Ridenhour and you want to stick it to him when the grass is 7 feet high, but you don't want to do something that's real, you're not doing any good. So that vote was a disaster. The rest of the meeting was pretty quick after that. I mean, they did the rest of the meeting from that point in basically right at about an hour, and there was a bunch of public comments, and whatever. So you should go through and watch the end of it. The only other thing that really they did vote at the end to make an opioid settlement committee, and that did pass 9-0. So they voted 9-0 to say, hey, we ought to have a committee look at how we should spend money, but just not that other money that we just voted for before this. So that's kind of funky. And then the only other thing that's of interest is the fact that they voted 9-0 to oppose Senate Bill 1, which I guess the way that they do it currently, the way that Senate Bill 1 is currently going with Amendment 45, the 368-page amendment, is it's good, I guess, that they oppose it. I'm so sick of the Republicans in Indiana fighting each other and being worthless and being stupid and not sticking to their guns and not being conservative, and having the Democrats being more conservative than the Republicans, and this nonsense with I can't even think of a stupid ass name. Bettlewick? What's his name? What's the lieutenant? I'm having a stroke. Betwick? What's his name?
Beckwith. Beetlejuice.
Right, dude, what's his name? Beckwith. I couldn't say it. I could not get that to come out. Beckwith. This nonsense he's doing with the Tesla and the money of the car and all this, dude. I'm telling you what, I am so sick of all of these people, and everybody's not happy in Indiana. Nobody's happy. The Democrats aren't happy. The conservatives aren't happy. The libertarians aren't happy. The people that are in government, the people that are in power aren't even happy because they're getting yelled at by all of us. The Democrats in power aren't happy because they're not getting anything done. Literally nobody anywhere in Indiana land is happy with what's going on politically, dude. We must get rid of all of these asshole jokers. 16 Republicans today voted yes on making shit worse in Indiana. I want you to understand that. We put the vote this morning, the Ways and Means Committee. We live streamed that today. It's there so you can see it. if you care, if you're so inclined, if you want to go watch it and look at it and see it, it's there. If you want to do it, it's another hard watch. All this stuff is just so difficult to deal with. Always. It's just all a big cluster. I'm gonna put these people up here real quick. We're getting ready to be done because it's been a long day, but I just want to show you this here before we go. Bear with me 1 second here. Yeah. Audie is right. The lit tax is coming, and if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you, because it is coming, and it's not going to be pretty. And I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Give me a second here, and I will share this with you, let you see who you need to be mad at, and then that way you can deal with it accordingly. And we can look at it. Just blows my mind the amount of people that are in bed together to make this the cluster that it is. And it's like, it's so crazy that there are people out here that would want local government to be fiscally responsible and to be just a little bit more responsible with the money. Nobody can say that Ridenhour is responsible with the money, man. He is loose. The juice is loose. Tutti frutti, man. He is as loose as a goose, man, with that money. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre what he does. Okay, so the Indiana General Assembly, the Indiana State House Ways and Means Committee met today at 10:30. All right. There are 24 state representatives assigned to that committee. Of those 24 state representatives, 16 of them are Republicans. And these are the Republicans that you need to be huffy with. Okay? State representative, these are all Republicans right now. Jeffrey Thompson, District 28. Craig Snow, 22. Timothy O'Brien, 78. Edward Clare, 72. Harold Slager, 15. Robert Heaton, 46. Jack Jordan, 17. Corey Criswell, 54. Robert Green, 47. Dave Heine, I don't know how they pronounce it. I think I heard him say it both ways down there today. 85. Chris Judy, 83. Danny Lopez, 39. Peggy Mayfield, 60. J.D. Prescott, 33. Elizabeth Roway, 35. Ben Smaltz, 54. Okay? Those Republicans all voted yes on this. All right. And I want to be sure that you understand fully what I'm saying when I'm telling you that they voted on this bill. See, it's been so weird because when the bill was first put forward, Kate, can you come up and tell me if you can hear me? Uh-oh, you must not be able to. I can't see you, so you'll have to come up and hear me.
Yes, I can
because
hear
I'm
you.
stuck on another page.
I can hear you. Talk.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you, damn it.
I can hear you.
Hold on. I'm trying to get off the page. Okay, here we go. I think we're good now. All right. Your browser has lost connection. Everything is screwed up. Okay, let me make sure that we're good here. Sorry, folks. Okay.
You good?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so I've not been able to hear you that whole time. That was funky. Okay, now we're good. All right, sorry about that, folks. We're near the end of the night. Sorry. Give me just one more minute. Yeah, JD has me hostage. Give me one more minute here, and we'll be done. Share screen. And hell, it's only 11 o'clock. It doesn't, and we've only been going for an hour. But it seems like the city council held us all hostage for so freaking long. So, okay, stop sharing. We're good there. And we're good here. All right. So, basically, what happened today, the Ways and Means Committee, these 24 jokers, go into this room like so often happens in state government or federal government or whatever, and they start talking about a bill with amendments, and specifically one amendment that was 368 pages, which is not terribly long. Compared to like some federal bills that have been like thousands of pages. So, it is what it is, but most of the representatives didn't even get it the day that it dropped. Okay. And so what's crazy to me is not even the fact that it was one of these deals where they voted for it without having read it. Like that happens so often. But they did it without having the fiscal note. That's what blows my mind. Okay. And Whitney Downard from the Capitol Chronicle says, a new property tax plan from Indiana's House Republicans, including big business, breaks down in increased discretion over local income tax, prevailed over qualms from Democrats on Monday. It advanced to the House floor to further consideration after the 15-8 committee vote. Under a massive amendment accepted by the committee, municipalities could, for the first time, raise local income tax at 1.2% through local income taxes for the county, though local income taxes for the county must fall under a 2.9% cap. The legislation would also phase out by 2030 the business personal property tax on anything purchased this year or later. Democrats balked at voting for the 368-page amendment without any fiscal foresight. The Legislative Services Agency doesn't draft fiscal notes on amendments until they're adopted. So this is like one of those things where you got to vote on it to know what's in it. This is not ready for prime time, said Representative Greg Porter of Indianapolis. We still have a lot of movement on it to get it to the point that we can even entertain it. Amendments author Representative Republican Jeff Thompson said it balances local government funding needs with relief for homeowners. 93% of homeowners will pay less than they would have without this bill, said Thompson, who chairs the committee. 55% will actually pay less in pay in 2026 than pay 2025. And we do know that it's roughly $200 per home. Veterans will qualify for a $250 credit towards their bills. And on top of that estimated $200 average credit, fixed income seniors will see another $100 credit. Currently, both groups may qualify for deductions to their property taxes. In totals, Republican homeowners would save $1.1 billion over 3 years through a decrease on increase in revenue that local units of government are expected to see in coming years. Thompson said that without action, locals would see an estimated 5.3% revenue growth. Under the new property tax plan, that growth will fall to 3%, he continued, higher than the state's projected revenue growth. But Democratic committee members criticized the plan for falling short, saying it further benefited businesses at the expense of homeowners and that the relief should be targeted for the most vulnerable Hoosiers. It seems like every time that we have a decrease for the business community, that burden has shifted over to the homeowners, said Representative Cherish Pryor, Democrat of Indianapolis. Everybody else has been benefiting from decreases that homeowners have been paying for. As of 5:40 p.m. on Monday, no new fiscal analysis had been posted to the General Assembly's website. So we still don't know. We still don't know. And that's what's really crazy. Notably, the state is in the midst of a multi-year effort to lower its income tax rate from 3.05 in 2024 to 2.9 in 2027. A bill headed for Braun's desk would allow that rate to fall further after 2030, dropping to 0.05 if revenue collections exceeded 2.5 growth in the 4 years preceding. But that overall rate doesn't account for the variance between counties. The Tax Foundation reports that even as statewide rate falls, local income taxes have climbed. Between 2014 and 2025, the state rate fell from 30.4 to 3%, but the local rate grew from 1.4 to 1.72. Under the newly amended bill, the total maximum rate would drop from 3.75% to 2.9% for most counties. An earlier version of this story said that it would increase, but that was only one portion of the three components making up the local income tax: property relief, expenditures, and special purpose. The expenditures category will rise to the 2.9%, but the other two categories will eventually expire. The municipal tax of the 1.2% is within that rate, staffers said. Okay. One of the things that was talked about in the meeting, and you can see the meeting on our channel, was the fact that they were looking at how it was going to affect schools and, you know, if they should go after schools or whatever would happen. And sometime today, after the meeting, a letter was sent out by the superintendent from the Union School Corporation. And we're going to have more on this coming week, just because we're going to get ready to roll here because it's been a long day. But I do want to put this up for you here and let you see this just for a second here. Let me get this pulled up. I don't know why, Audie, if you're on here still, I'm obviously still live. I don't know why you would be calling me. That's nuts. Give me a second here. let me get this thing shared here. Downloads. So essentially, while I'm working on getting this in, I'll let you hear this for a second. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. Share. Okay, this is just 2 minutes long, so this won't be bad at all. I want you to listen to this.
Good evening, Union Rocket family. This is Mr. Mast. I hope your day has gone well. I have a brief update for you on some news that we just learned. It seems that our very own legislators, J.D. Prescott and Scott Alexander, have added an amendment to the state's current Senate Bill 1, which is our state budget, that would dissolve Union School Corporation as of July 1st, 2027. Right. This comes from our very own legislators. This proposed amendment, proposed being the key word, came out of nowhere and is a tricky way to force consolidation. Many people don't know this, but Union is a substantially wealthy school district. We may have less than 300 students in person, but we support nearly 9,000 students online with over 350 teachers through our partnership with INDLS. We believe this legislation to be all about money, and this is nothing new to us. We've faced this type of attack before. We don't plan on going anywhere. We plan to fight this proposed amendment every step of the way. We find this legislation unconstitutional and a backhanded attempt to close down a school that's thriving. We've done very well. Union has been here in the community for the past 70 years, and we plan to be here for another 7 decades. Understand that Union supports a tax rate of 80 cents. If Union were to be annexing to other districts, taxpayers would see their property taxes nearly double. We are Indiana's leading online virtual option. And with that often comes opposition. People don't understand exactly what we do. They also see the funding that we have, and they desire that for their own district. This is something that we will fight all along the way. I just wanted you to be aware. And as our legal team updates us, we will keep you updated as well. Thank you for your continued support of Union. We have a great place here at Union. We're a great place for kids and for staff and for families. We have a wonderful community. Have a great evening.
So,
hi there. You're good. I'll start with the police department.
I got the ball of death. Can you take that off the screen? There we go. So, basically, that's going to be interesting. So I've been talking with individuals for a while now who have kind of questioned what exactly is going on there. Hold on. I got to get that sound quit. That sound wouldn't stop. There we go. So I've been talking with folks for quite some time that have been saying they're not really sure what's going on there with the school, that the whole online school thing seems a little hokey, seems a little fishy. There might need to be some talking done about that. But what JD and Scott Alexander seems to be doing here also doesn't seem to be right. Here is basically, it's hard for you guys to see. We'll put this up better for you guys to see it in the next couple weeks, days or weeks, maybe by the end of the week. But I will tell you that these folks are starting to get extremely upset with J.D. Prescott. And I think that's interesting. I think you're going to start seeing more and more people becoming upset with Prescott from all sides of this. So this letter says here, I'll just read it to you because you guys can't even see it, so it's not worth having up there. This says, and this is from the same gentleman we just heard, I have a brief update for you on some news that we just learned. It seems that our very own legislators, J.D. Prescott and Scott Alexander, have added a proposed amendment to the state's current Senate Bill 1 that would dissolve Union School Corporation as of July 1st, 2027. This proposed amendment came out of nowhere and is a tricky way to force consolidation. And so basically it's the same thing that he read there. Many people don't know this, but Union is a substantially wealthy school district. Other districts want our resources, and while we may have less than 300 students in person, but we support nearly 9,000 students online with over 300 teachers through our partnership with INDLS. Union supports a tax rate of 80 cents. If Union were to be annexed into other districts, taxpayers would see their property taxes nearly double. So what I guess I need to do, because that's not an area that I am an expert in, I have to say, I just don't really follow what goes on in school boards and what's going on specifically in Union, where I'm nowhere even close to anymore. But I have heard people close to me that I trust say that they're not sure of what goes on at Union, if it's all above board, if it's all okay, which I understand, and that can be a conversation that we can have. And we have long talked on here. I know that Kate and I have talked about it before, and others have talked about the fact that, like, for example, Randolph County has a lot of different school systems, and they have a bunch of people that are doing duplicate services. So it seems like it would be easier to consolidate some of those things. And those are serious conversations that need to be had. What I don't like that JD does is, instead of talking to people, he just does something, and then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, we did this, and now you got to live with it. And he's doing that same thing up in Jay County right now. And I think that JD's time is really coming to an end. I was happy to know that what we've been seeing over the last 6 months was JD starting to gain in popularity with Rob Kendall and the people at 93.1 WIBC for some unknown reason, because he attached himself with Beckwith, and they're friends with Beckwith. And so all of a sudden, JD went from being this establishment hack, the try guy, the guy that would not communicate with anybody, to now being one of the cool kids, one of our guys, my man, our guy. You know, we need 100 more just like him. He's kind of like the soldiers at D-Day, that kind of shit. He went from being a piece of shit to being the shit in these people's eyes, and I never understood it. And then this vote occurred. JD was one of these 16 Republicans that voted for this nonsensical amendment today. And I think the party is starting to lose the fun. I think that their time together is starting to wane a little bit, because Rob Kendall today posted the following comments reference this situation. Rob Kendall had made a comment today shortly after the vote, stating that he was extremely disappointed in how everything shook out, and that these Republicans, really did a disservice. 2 hours ago, he said, Governor Mike Braun needs to come out ASAP and issue the following statement rejecting the House property tax debacle. Everyone knows he hates it, and they're trying to big time him, and he needs to just come out and say he's ready to rock and roll. Okay. He said, Rob said earlier in the day, every single Ways and Means Republican voted for the House property tax bill. Most of them didn't read it, and even fewer, like almost none, understand it. It raises your taxes. It's a big giveaway to business at your expense. And you can't hate these people enough. Like I said, every Republican voted to raise your taxes today. These people are disgusting. And again, Indiana Capitol Chronicle said Senate Bill 1 would now let counties increase their local income tax and for the first time allow cities to implement their own local income tax. Under a massive amendment adopted Monday, counties would be able to levy an income tax up to 2.9%, up from the current 2.5 cap, where cities could go up 1.2. I commented in this because there were a bunch of people commenting, and I commented and said, here they are, the 16 Republicans from the Ways and Means Committee. They all need to be called out for the shit they pulled today. And I commented there. And then later on, I said, so this is just one of the many, many reasons why I don't trust Prescott and or those around him that suck up to him or those that he suck up to. I supported Prescott when he first ran in 2018, and I watched as he made promise after promise to constituents and broke them all. He broke major promises to me to be transparent and above board. But quickly, he turned on me to stay in the good graces and the good side of the establishment. I knew it wouldn't take long for him to go back on his word to you, Rob Kendall, and the many, many, many constituents who need property tax reform. He could have voted no alongside the 8 Democrats. And instead of it being 16-8, it could have been 15-9, and it still would have passed. But he could have been a no vote on principle. And that vote would have stood, and people would have been like, well, look, at least he is trying to do something right. But nope. He went right along and did what his establishment hack daddies told him to do. Todd Houston and Roderick Bray. He went right along with that bullshit. I'm worried he's also molding Criswell to be just like him. I truly see it happening. We need people in these seats that have the balls to do what needs to be done. Rob responded back to me, and Rob and I have been kind of on at the outs and the odds over the last several months over the Rainwater and the Beckwith, all that stuff, and J.D. Prescott, to be completely honest. And Rob Kendall responded back to me, and I finally thought, okay, he sees it. Rob said, this was a bad vote today for Prescott. For him to go to their rally 2 weeks ago and claim to be for property tax relief and then vote for this. It was a bad vote today for him, no doubt. So thank God, I think Rob is finally starting to see JD for who he is. And that's a good thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. We've still got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover about Diego Morales. We've got more meetings tomorrow. We've got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here for coverage. I can't even tell you what tomorrow's show is going to be about, but we will have a lot to talk to you about. You'll want to tune in. Please hit the like on your way out if you have not already. Do this. Hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll also talk about the whole Tesla deal. That wasn't him being scared and needing protection. It was him being a troll. And we just don't have time for that. We got too much serious shit to talk about. So Beckwith needs to get out of this troll phase and just get back to work. Or he needs to resign and allow someone else to do the job that's serious about it. I don't know what Beckwith's doing. I think he looks at this as just one big summer camp game joke day or something. I don't know what he's doing. But all right, folks, we will see you back here tomorrow. Check us out on all of our socials right there below. We will be back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Goodbye.